Donald Trump is the most corrupt president in American history.
Hey, the biggest threat to the United States is Donald J. Trump and the corrupt Supreme Court justices, the justices that are receiving gifts from billionaires.
Donald Trump is the most corrupt president in American history. And Ken Paxton is the most corrupt politician in Texas history. And this is these two men teaming up to try to ram through this ridiculous and illegal gerrymandering plan. It's the same old BS. Corrupt politicians having a scheme to rig the rules of our elections so that they can drown out voters' voices and remain unaccountable. We're not going to have it. Not on our watch. Not on the watch of these brave Texas Democrats in the legislature, not on the watch of my congressional colleagues, not on the watch of Leader Jeffries. Voters are rightfully upset that housing prices keep going up, that the price of medicine keeps on going up, that Donald Trump is taking your money and handing it to his rich donor friends. And this radical and illegal redistricting scheme is all about Donald Trump not being held accountable for his crimes, for his corruption, and for his lies. We're not going to have it. We're not going to stand for this. Just like Congresswoman Garcia, of course, they have mangled so many of our districts. They're trying to suppress the voices of voters of color by merging the majority parts of the 35th district and the 37th district here in Central Texas. They aren't doing something that has to do with myself or Congressman Doggett. No, they are trying to silence the voices of voters in Central Texas. And if Donald Trump is allowed to suppress the votes of Central Texas voters, he wants to take that all across the country.
The President of the United States is a pedophile. A pedophile. The man running our country is a pedophile. MAGA only has two choices. Either admit that they support a pedophile or just say that we've been right all along and their president is a liar. Sometimes I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality, because how did 1/3 of our country vote for a TV personnel, a celebrity, somebody who was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and then expect him to not be doing the same
to his ailing company? And he got it. When the president was asked whether his symbolic purchase of a Tesla at the White House might help the company's stock, Trump said, "I hope it does." But that wasn't all, because the best part of the deal for Donald Trump took place after the Teslas had been driven away and the cameras had been packed up. Because not long after the special live stream on X or Twitter had ended, something even more important happened. With Tesla shares on the rebound, Elon Musk promised to pump $100 million into Donald Trump's political operation. That's right, Donald Trump received one of the largest political contributions in American history, all for the price of one measly Tesla Model S and the use of the White House as a sales room. A damn good deal for Donald Trump, if you ask me. For you, the American taxpayer, nothing at all. Zero, zilch, nada. All you got was being taken for a ride. For number 9 of the best deals for Donald Trump, we have to zoom down to Mar-a-Lago, where you can generally find the president golfing on your dime and lining his pockets in the process. We saw this during the first Trump administration, but at that time he was still finishing the front 9. During his first term, Donald Trump made an astounding 473 trips to his own golf courses while in office. But this term, he seems determined to go for the club record. In just his first 100 days, Donald Trump spent over a quarter of those days while in office, golfing. Wouldn't you like a job like that, where you get to play golf every 4 days? Pretty sweet. through market collapses. Donald Trump is out on the golf course. Through national crises, Donald Trump was out on the golf course, enjoying the golden age in his golden golf cart, playing the back nine, while you struggled to pay your rent or your mortgage, which is bad in and of itself, that the President of the United States is spending so much time when there's so many challenges facing American families out on the golf course. But that's not even the worst of it. Because guess who is paying for all that golf? You are. You are, the American people, the taxpayer. That's right, all those drives and those chip shots, all those slices and those hooks.
Hey, the biggest threat to the United States is Donald J. Trump and the corrupt Supreme Court justices, the justices that are receiving gifts from billionaires to get what they want, okay? Now, what the Supreme Court has done is stopping injunctions by lower courts, okay? So the wannabe criminal king, Donald J. Trump, can now just do with his executive orders whatever he wants, okay? He's emboldened, okay? So now the Supreme Court, with these decisions 6-3, it's just ruining the United States. Anything that is good for people is being taken away. Rights that have been taken away for decades are being taken away by Donald J. Trump and the corrupt Supreme Court justices. We need to 86-47, get rid of Donald J. Trump, impeach the Supreme Court justices peacefully.
I don't know if you guys have seen Dan Bongino's social media post from today or not. Please, take a look at it, read it. I do have a lot of faith in Bongino as well as Kash Patel. The corruption in our government runs so deep. In his post, Bongino says, "I'll never be the same after learning what I have learned." He says he has been shaken to his core. But it is absolutely not surprising to me. And how people can defend this, I will never understand. We should want to know about the corruption in our country and inside our government. We should want to do everything possible to eliminate it. I do think we have the correct administration in office right now. I think that people should prepare themselves and get ready for what will be revealed this year. I do believe we are in the year of revelation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You all have a wonderful afternoon. God bless you.
Everything is or feels very messed up right now, but this is how we fix it. If we do these two things, we will get out of this mess. America has become unaffordable. People are very worried about public safety. The government still does not work for most people who really need it. And the assault on our democracy is very, very real. So to fix it, we have to do two big things. Number one, resistance is not enough. We need a full-blown plan. We need a governing document that explains to the American people how we're going to fix the economy, how we're going to keep people safe, how we're going to fix democracy, the government, everything. We're going to fix everything, and here's how. Okay, so in 1994, Republicans did something similar. They introduced to the American people their governing document, which was called the Contract with America. It was the 10 bills they would pass if they got the majority. They were very, very successful. We can call ours something different, like our pledge to America, but here are the 10 bills that will fundamentally fix what they've broken. Number one, the Reward Hard Work, Not Wealth Act. This is the alternative to the terrible budget bill they just passed. It would fix the tax code, making sure that everybody at the top pays all their taxes, and that gets invested in working folks, small businesses, farmers, the middle class. They get meaningful tax relief. Number two, the Build Baby Bill. That's a lot, I know. But we got to start building again in this country, infrastructure and housing in particular, but you can also include broadband. This bill would do that. All of the reforms that we need and the investments to build a ton of new housing, lowering rents and housing costs, a ton of infrastructure, and laying broadband all over the country. Number three, Improve Care, Lower Costs Act. This is the bill that would expand access to health care. It would create a public option. People should be able to buy into Medicare, and it would lower costs significantly by requiring full transparency for insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, and it would get us back into negotiating lower prescription drug prices across the board. Number 4, the Improve Education Act. Neither party has had a plan to improve educational outcomes in decades. This bill would invest in early childhood education, including prenatal care, paid family leave, child care, preschool, making sure that every single kid in America shows up to kindergarten ready. The bill would also make college and the trades much more accessible and much more affordable. Number 5, improve the Federal Government Act. This is really important. This bill would require independent audits of every agency and then a binding vote. Congress has to take up the vote on waste, fraud, and abuse in that independent audit. The bill would also include a number of anti-corruption measures. Number 6, the Fix Our Democracy bill, or the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, end voter suppression, end partisan gerrymandering, end dark money, and get politicians out of the business of buying and selling individual stocks. Number 7, the 21st century anti-crime bill. Communities across the country, particularly cities, are really struggling with gun violence. They need more police officers and they need real gun reform. Restoring Personal Liberties Act. This bill would protect personal autonomy, from reproductive freedom to LGBTQ issues. Number 9, the Border Security and Immigration Reform Act. This bill would include additional Border Patrol officers, more judges, asylum reform, and perhaps most importantly, legal pathways for folks who have been working here and for dreamers. And finally, number 10, the Strengthening America's Global Leadership Act. This would reaffirm our role in global alliances, our fight against authoritarianism here and abroad, and promoting democracy and trade. Also, this bill would reinvest in the foreign aid we know is so critical to our national security and just us as human beings. Second big thing is we need a new entity. We need a group of people and leadership dedicated entirely to this moment. We need this to reframe the narrative and meet this moment fully. And I think it has to have the moral seriousness and political discipline that the civil rights movement did. So people all over the country know that what they're seeing right now is very bad, but there's a better way forward and we can get there. These are the 2 big things that I believe will help us fix what they've broken.